Hello. This would help. I'm not sure how well this is going to go because my internet speed, the upload speed is garbage right now and has been for about a week. So I've done some Red Dead Redemption 2 streams that maybe 10 minutes of each one of those actually went through and uploaded to my channel in the live section. So if I cut out abruptly, that would be why. And of course, you already know it before I say it. Spectrum. It's Spectrum Internet. You can always rely on it to be the worst it could possibly be. I pay for 500 up, 500 down. And I usually get 500 up or down. Maybe once a month I'll get 500 up. So I take what I can get right now. And thankfully, OBS, it does start recording as soon as I start streaming. So I can upload the recording if I need to. You see it. You can see it right in there. I also got one right here, but it doesn't have the personal information and driver's license number blocked out. So I'm not going to show you that one. It looks like I'm live. Oh, maybe not. Looks like it looks about right. So I got my permit. Class B with passenger and school bus endorsements. Thank God. I really needed this bad for a lot of reasons, not just financially. I needed it to reinstate my confidence. So I'm very happy that I have it. Oh, you like my photo on my permit? They always get the best angles and everything else at the old DPS. It took me so long to get this. I don't know, about 10 years. That's not quite true. The issue started 10 years ago in California. No, I don't really believe that. I wish I lived in California. I got a freaking overweight ticket in California in 2015, and I paid it at the weigh station because you have to pay it at the weigh station or else they won't let you leave. They hold your CDL hostage until you pay them. That's every weigh station. That's not exclusive to California, just to be clear. So I paid it and went on about my merry way until one day it popped back up at another weigh station and I had a suspended CDL. And that was in October of 2015. I want to say October 9th. It was almost 10 years to the date, very recently. So it popped back up. I paid another $500 to California to release the hold on my CDL. And then I went on about my merry way, just like the first time. So everything was good for a minute, for about 7 years. Then comes, I think it was, I'd have to look at the dates, but I know it was in 2021, so I guess closer to 6 years than 7. It popped back up again for a third time. So I got in touch with California, their V, and they told me, like, hey, this is clear, so you should be good. Unfortunately, Texas didn't get the memo, so I just couldn't get another CDL. I had a FMA or FSA hold on it. I was able to get a Class C license, but I couldn't do any kind of commercial license. Finally, this year, I was able to take care of it. So, in my opinion, I did something that many men have tried. Many men have also failed. Some have been successful, not all. I get to be one of the privileged few that can say I was successful. And I'm not talking about getting your CDL. Most anybody could do that. I'm talking about I got in a fight with Bureaucracy and I won. Oh my God, I really can't believe it. Fought the law and the law won. Do that, but I fought Bureaucracy and I won. Oh my God, you have no idea. Maybe you do. I don't want to assume anything about your life. If you've never faced down Bureaucracy, please do everything in your power to never have to do that. Earlier this month, I was on the phone for 8 hours a day for a week and a half straight, calling every single number I could get my hands on to get in touch with people that regulate these types of things to try to get my license clear so I could get this right here, so I can get that, what you're looking at. It was so hard to get anybody to even understand what I was trying to accomplish. I can see right now that I speak pretty slowly. And the problem with that, while trying to fight bureaucracy, is they get to be as slow as they want. They can take decades to take care of something, but they don't allow you the same grace. They want you to be quick in your speaking and in your paperwork, just everything. So there were a lot of people I would talk to in the bureaucracy nightmare that it was difficult for me to even explain to them what was going on and what I needed to happen. They would cut me off mid sentence all the time because they thought they knew where I was going with the sentence. And I have to stop and be like, no, please listen. And usually by the end of the phone call, they would say, oh, unfortunately, I understand what you're saying, but unfortunately, there's nothing I can do for you. Let me give you another phone number to call. So I would do it. I would call the number. I was always very respectful, very polite to whom I was talking to. In Texas or in California, I was very respectful and courteous. And I remembered my please and thank yous and my yes ma'ams and yes sirs and everything. I was in it. I was in the bureaucracy nightmare, the labyrinth that is bureaucracy. Oh my God. It's difficult for me to contain my hatred for bureaucracy. I think that's my new enemy. Like, I haven't had an enemy in a while. So, if my new enemy can be bureaucracy, I don't know how I would begin to fight that. I really don't. But they're my enemy. Just whoever is the bureaucracy representative, you're on my list, buddy or madam. Just watch your back, okay? Long term. The person I finally got to clear my license was here in Texas, Austin to be exact. And this lady, she was so awesome. The number I called to get in touch with her is a number I have called multiple times over the past, let's just say 5 years or 4 years since 2021. The people I would talk to would tell me they couldn't do anything for me. And it's like the same department, the same phone number. The lady that was finally able to help me, she actually took the time to listen to me explain exactly what the situation was and how it's stemming from something that happened in 2015. So she actually listened, like I'm saying. And I don't know your name, I can't remember. She's a cog in the wheel, another cog in the system. I don't mean that in a disparaging way, more of as there's a million people just like her. I think it would be weird if I remembered her name. Thank you very much. She was finally able to help me. She told me exactly what she needed and that she could lift it, the hold on my CDL. And all she needed was the receipt from where I paid the ticket, which I had. And I gave to her. I sent her an email. I have given that freaking receipt to so many freaking people, so many, and they just told me there's nothing they can do. But this lady, she was able to take that receipt and see that it was a cleared issue, and she lifted the restriction right there on the phone. I don't know. Like, I'm so happy. I'm seriously overjoyed that she was able to do that for me. Why the hell couldn't anyone else do that in the past 5 years? Is it just because she cared enough to actually do her job and she cared to actually listen to me, explain the situation? I think those are the answer. So thank you. I'll pray for your family. Thank you. Seriously, thank you. So after that, sent her the email with the receipt, and then I got another email back from her stating the hold on your license has been lifted and the stuff I need to know, which was just it's been lifted. So go live your life. I'll be honest with y'all. You can check their driver's license status. and if there's any kind of holds on it or anything else. I checked it before I spoke with her. And after I got that email, I was like, I'm not brave enough to look myself. Thankfully, it did get lifted, as evidenced by that right there. I just told myself either I'll go down to the DPS to apply for the permit and I'll be told once again that there's a hold on my license, or we'll just proceed. Proceed it is normal. Oh my God. I am so happy. And another thing is that I did have a ticking clock because I scheduled the DPS appointment to get the permit like for 5 months ago. That's how long the wait is to get in to apply for your permit. And I finally got this wrapped up like week and a half before the appointment. So I was seriously on the clock. Like, has to get done. We need to make this happen now. And thankfully I was able to do that with the amazing lady at DPS in Austin. None of this would have been possible without you. So once again, thank you. Seriously. So now what? I get a job. That's what. I got kind of nervous taking the exams. If you go check out my channel, you'll see where I failed the air brake test twice, 2 times, and you only get 3 tries. If I failed it a third time, I would have to start the whole process over again. Not the getting the restriction lifted, thank God. At least I hope. I guess I'll never know. I didn't have to do that. But yeah, I failed that air brake test again. I would have had to start from the beginning. And the appointment to get the permit took months. And I don't think it's gotten better. If anything, it's gotten worse. The wait times. So I'm so happy I passed. I passed the air brake test, obviously. The first 2 times I took it, the first time I was like, I'm just going to pass it because I've taken this test before. I know how air brakes work, so I'm going to pass the test, right? Not so much. I guess I had forgotten a lot of stuff. So I took a couple of days. I think I took the weekend because you can't even go down there on the weekend. So I was about to say I took the weekend off, but so over the weekend, I studied and I also learned a lot of really useful information that I had very obviously forgotten. Third time I went to take the test, I passed it 100%. I didn't get a single question wrong. That's how prepared I made sure I was before I went down there for the third time. And after that, I had to take passenger and school bus. Passenger, I also passed 100%. I didn't miss any questions. And then school bus, I failed that. I really didn't think I would. Of course I didn't think I'd fail air brakes. I thought I had studied enough for school bus endorsement, and while I was taking the test, like I didn't even get that far. I think I got to the 9th question, and if you get 5 wrong, you fail. And they don't let you continue. You got to come back 24 hours. You got to come back the next day, basically. So I say that so you know why I couldn't take passenger or school bus until I passed the air brakes. You got to do it in order. You can't say, okay, I failed air brakes, so can I go ahead and take passenger? No. If you fail, you got to go away for 24 hours. You ain't got to go home, but you can't stay there. So yesterday, I went and took passenger and school bus. I passed the passenger test, like I said, 100%. I didn't miss any questions. And I had to go back today to take school bus. And like I said, you can only get 5 questions. No, you can only get 4 questions wrong. If you get a 5th question wrong, you fail. Within the first 10 questions, I got 4 questions wrong. So for the final 10 questions, I was sweating. I was like, oh my God, I swear I studied. I was to videos all last night and this morning about the passenger school bus endorsement. There's a lot of misinformation in those videos, for real. Like, of them, there were a few questions and answers that video, I was like, don't sound right. That just doesn't sound right. So I looked at the comments and people were pointing out the questions that had the wrong answers. And it's like, you're setting people up to fail. What is it? What? I'm glad I didn't rely on that. I'm glad I did reading and stuff. If I just relied on the videos, I would have failed again. I'm pretty sure that's why I failed in the first place, because I was answering the questions with answers I got from those YouTube videos, which sound right. It's not like the YouTube video wasn't like, what should you do if a kid stands in front of your bus? Answer, gun it. It wasn't like that. The answers sounded right. So when I went to take the test the first time, I answered the question in a way that sounded right. No, apparently not. And for a school bus endorsement, you really want that information to be accurate. Not only so you can pass the test, but also because you're going to be hauling around a bunch of kids and you really need to know your stuff. That's neither here nor there now. If I had failed again, I would have been raising hell in this video. I would have been like, up the channels, like, to trust these. I'm going to go on a full campaign to dispel all the misinformation in these videos. Like, why are you going to have disinformation, not dis, but misinformation in a video about passing a test? Like, it does, like, oh, you would want it to be more accurate whenever you're trying to get anything to do with school buses, but it doesn't matter what test you're trying to study for. The information should be accurate. Like, if I were to upload a video that had a stated purpose of helping you pass a test, and I was getting comments like, hey, buddy, look, these are wrong. You got this information wrong. I would take the video down and make a new version with the correct information, right? Like, weird for that? Is that strange? I guess so. I'm trying to think if there's anything you can report it for, but I mean, you could report a video for misinformation. I think most of the internet would go away overnight. I'm so freaking happy. Like, it's been a long time in the making. The stream right now and the CLP, Commercial Learner's Permit. Oh my God. Holy crap. It's like 1,000 pounds has been taken off my back because you people haven't made me a YouTube star. So I needed something else. And I'm going to do the school bus for a while, but the main focus or reason I'm doing it is to get more capital for Hyphenation. Not the Hyphenation, the YouTube video, but Hyphenation, the company I started. I need more equipment. And you can't really get that without a stable income. So that's what this is. And if I do decide for some psychotic reason to stay a school bus driver as a career, you get summers off. You don't have to work during the summer. I know that school bus drivers are very much in demand everywhere in the country, as well as teachers and, anything to do with school. I'm pretty sure. I don't understand why more people don't do it. Because to me, the fact that you get the summer off, the entire summer, that's huge. That's like a big deal. I think so. I probably couldn't be a teacher. I think you got to go to college and yeah, trying to get money together for equipment. I don't need more debt, which would be going to college. I don't need that right now. I think a lot of people think about dealing with children and they're just like, nope. But to me, it's like the adult. I'm the authority figure in the situation. What do I care if a bunch of little brats are being little brats? As long as they're not doing anything dangerous or bullying someone, so y'all be brats. That's what you do. Little kids are brats. And I think a lot of people, just in general, couldn't deal with kids being little brats to them unless they're like kids. Like, I think they're too fragile. And it's like, you really gonna let a kid freaking tell you what to do or try to override your decision making? That just doesn't make sense to me. It's like be the adult in the situation. That's kind of the end of it, right? At least to me, it is. I just don't put too much weight in anything a child says. Like, if they're a teenager, like years old, still whatever. And then, I mean, to be straight with y'all, I don't really care about people until they're 21. I think 20 and under, you're still very much a child. I know legally you're an adult, but I mean, 21 might be kind of young. But I don't like to infantilize people, so I'm going to raise that number any higher. 21 seems fair, though, right? Like, you should just make that when you become an adult. And that includes military service. You can't join the military in my world until you're 21. But then that would kind of, got to get them young and poor and then send them overseas to do your bidding. I get that, but I don't care. That's not my business. That's not the world I want to live in. So let's raise the age to 21. But that's beside the point. Sorry for that little tangent. Yeah, I'm intimidated by kids. I think that's really what it comes down to. I think a lot of people are intimidated by children. I don't get it. I don't understand why. They're children. Don't be intimidated by them. Like, of that scene in Matilda where Danny DeVito is talking to Matilda, I guess. It's like, I'm big, you're small, I'm strong, you're weak. I know that was meant to portray a bad father, and it does, but it's also true. I know. I'm pretty happy. Not gonna lie. I'm pretty happy. Oh, one more thing I wanted to mention, and this is more of just me being me. So, to get to the closest DPS that handles CDLs, it's about an hour away. So, it's not exactly convenient for me to go down there so much. And that was really driving me crazy because have you ever been to Dallas? Do you know what it's like to drive around in Dallas? It sucks. And there's a lot of Dallas that is inaccessible unless you use toll roads. I'm being dead serious. That's not a joke. So, to get to where I needed to get to, it took about an hour. And then, all of a sudden, and this is really where me comes in, I lost it. I couldn't find the DPS anymore. It wouldn't show up on any maps. I couldn't find it on the DPS website. Like, it's just gone. I thought I was losing my mind. So I went to another DPS that does CDLs, and that one was an hour and a half away. Thankfully, I only went to that one twice before I rediscovered the one that's an hour away. How the hell do you do that? Did I do that? How do I so consistently do things like that? It is an interesting life I have over here. I tell you what, man. It's a miracle I made it this far. I genuinely didn't think I would make it out of my 20s. I was like, I'm reckless today. Back then, I truly did not care about myself or anything else for that matter. And you would know that by the insane amount of alcohol I used to drink. I'm sober now. I don't drink anymore. Back then, whoa, I drank so much it would scare myself. Like, kind of smiling while I say that, but it's true. I were a few times I thought I had given myself alcohol poisoning. Like, I'm not even joking. I genuinely thought I gave myself alcohol poisoning multiple times in my life. Next day, I went back to the bottle like I didn't almost kill myself the night before. I don't know. I couldn't tell you why. Beyond, I just really didn't care about myself. So I didn't think I'd make it out of my 20s. I thought that's where I would stay. Thankfully, I was wrong. I can admit that. So yeah, drink. It's bad. Even just a little bit of alcohol is really bad for you. And just to be clear, I didn't think I would kill myself in my 20s. I thought I would be really drunk in a city I've never been to, which happened all the time back then because I was an over the road truck driver in my 20s. My entire 20s were over the road truck driving. So what I would do is once I got to a new city, I would get an Uber or a Lyft, just whichever. and I would go straight downtown to the middle of a big ass city I've never been to, and I would proceed to get blackout drunk and just walk the streets. And I wasn't doing that to put myself in danger. It was more of I just wasn't thinking about how dangerous that was. I thank God every day I'm not a woman. Oh my God, I could not imagine the bad stuff that would have happened to me if I were a woman. I have never felt envious of a woman, not a single day in my life. And I love women. Women are great. It looks like it really sucks to be one, though, if I'm just being straight up with you. So, yeah, I get blackout drunk, walk the streets of a big city, just whichever one I was in. And I'm the type of person that doesn't keep his opinions to himself. I don't know if you've noticed that or not. So, if I were talking to someone, I wouldn't be shy about saying things that would piss them off. Sometimes I would say stuff that pissed them off, and I just didn't understand it. That still happens. That is something I will probably always experience due to the autism. So, I'm also lucky I didn't get my ass beat. I'm lucky in a lot of ways. I can recognize that about myself. So, yeah, it's a casino. I'm not lucky there. But yay, I mean, woo, to go. I haven't eaten dinner yet. It's still pretty early, but I gotta cook, do all that fun stuff. But thanks for being here. I appreciate it. I hope you have a good rest of your day. And until then, peace out.